Welcome back. In this episode, we will cover the concept of scopes. This episode assumes that you already know the basics of Elyx, like node executions, operations, and connecting values, as well as being familiar with data types and variable nodes. If you aren't yet, we recommend watching the previous episodes on this tutorial series. Scopes are the levels of depth at which your logic is executing. This is relevant because some values will not be accessible in certain scopes. Elyx will always let you know if this is the case. Most of the nodes we have created live at the top scope, which we call the global scope. But in reality, most of the real logic you will build will be part of one entry point trigger or another, as a way to organize your logic, or making sure that it gets executed by the system at some point, like endpoints or scheduled tasks. Each trigger node, whether a part of a definition like an endpoint or standalone like a custom trigger, are considered their own scope. A simple way to find out what belongs to the scope of a trigger is to collapse the body of that trigger, which hides all of its children nodes. Elyx will sometimes let you move nodes from the global scope to a specific trigger scope by connecting them to their execution socket. But this is not always possible, especially when a global node itself is already connected to others, because that would mean all connected nodes would also have to be moved at once, which might have conflicts elsewhere. To avoid this confusion, it is always better to create nodes from scratch while being initially connected to an ancestor in the same triggers branch. This way, you know you're working in the right scope. If you're having trouble with scopes, for example, because you can't connect some execution, just recreate the node starting from a success or error socket of a previous node in the branch. Scopes can nest into lower, more deeply nested scopes. For example, this is a loop, which is a node with its own body trigger. Whatever is connected to this trigger will execute as many times as the loop decides, rather than just once, which means that the nodes in the body of the loop are in one scope lower. Executions cannot be connected between scopes. Values can connect to lower, more nested scopes, but nested scopes cannot give values to higher scopes. If the loop itself belongs to a scope, including that of another higher loop, then any values in that higher scope can be connected down to the nodes within the loop. But the nodes in the loop won't be able to connect back up into the scope where the loop itself is executed at. Again, each green card, or trigger, is a scope, plus the top-level global project scope. Variable instances are available in the scope that the variable is declared at, or lower scopes. If you declare a variable in the global scope, it will be available everywhere. But if you declare a variable within a trigger, it won't be available to reference as a variable instance outside of that trigger, but it will be in further nested scopes. And that is it for this episode. In the next episode, we will look at how you can retrieve data from your Elyx databases directly with Canvas nodes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so YouTube notifies you when Elyx posts more tutorials or announcements. See you in the next video.